Good evening. Tonight we are going to read Marcus and Lionel. This book belongs to, can you read it? Didn't know which direction Wise went at that point. Marcus and Lionel had been together for as long as they could remember. They lived on the little girl's bed, propped up against her pillows. Marcus often went places with the little girl, and when he got home, he always told Lionel about his adventures. Lionel was too big to travel, and never got to go anywhere. Sometimes he wished he could have an adventure of his own, but most of the time he was content to sit on the bed and hear about the world outside. One summer morning, there was lots of bustle and clatter in the house. People had come with boxes to pack things in, and there was a van to take everything away. The little girl and her parents were moving to the country. Marcus was going to ride in the car, but Lionel was packed in a box, along with the pillows and some blankets. He had just time to say goodbye to Marcus before the lid was closed. Marcus had a wonderful journey. There was so much to see. They rode through busy city streets, one after the other. Then they came to a big bridge. Marcus had never seen a bridge before. Wait till I tell Lionel about this, he thought. As they crossed the bridge, Marcus saw boats sailing. When they got to the other side, he saw hills and a windmill and cows in a field. I can't wait to tell Lionel, Marcus thought. At last they arrived at the new house. There was a porch at the front and swings and a slide in the yard. The little girl's room looked out over a garden with red roses growing in it. Lionel and I will be happy here, Marcus thought. The little girl and her parents started to unpack the boxes. Marcus could hardly wait to see Lionel. They unpacked the little girl's clothes and all her books. They unpacked her dollhouse and her cowboy hat and boots. There was no sign of Lionel yet. They unpacked the tea set, the easel, and the bedside lamp. There was still no sign of Lionel. There was only one box left. Lionel has to be in that one, Marcus thought. But he wasn't. It was only the little girl's record player and records. That night, the little girl had to sleep with her mother's pillow, and no Lionel. She hugged Marcus extra tight, and Marcus tried to hug her back. I'm sure Lionel will turn up, he thought. But Lionel didn't. Over the next few days, Marcus and the little girl had lots of new things to explore. There were trees to climb at the back of the house and a little stream with frogs and fish. There was a hidey hole under the porch, and there were 4 cats next door who came to visit. Discovering it all should have been a great adventure, but it wasn't much fun for Marcus. Lionel wasn't there to hear about it when he came home. The days seemed very long. One day, the little girl took Marcus out to the car. She and her mother were going to visit someone in the city, and Marcus was going too. On the way, Marcus saw lots of things he remembered from the moving day. That made him miss Lionel more than ever. When they got to the city, the little girl carried Marcus in her usual way, by one arm. This always gave Marcus an interesting view of things. And that day, Marcus got a very interesting view of something. Behind an iron fence, on the lawn in front of a big gray building, there were all sorts of things set out on display. Chairs and clothes and clocks and tables filled with books. And there on one of those tables was, could it be? Yes, it was Lionel. Marcus had to make the little girl stop so she would see Lionel too. But how? She and her mother seemed to be in such a hurry. There was only one way. Gathering all his strength, Marcus stuck out one leg just far enough to get his foot caught in the fence. As the little girl walked on, Marcus's foot began to tear. It hurt terribly, but it would be worth it if only... Mama, wait, said the little girl, stopping. Marcus's foot is stuck. As the little girl began to free his foot, she suddenly saw what Marcus had seen. Mama, she cried. Mama, look, it's Lionel. We found him, Mama. Indeed they had. He was a bit dusty, and one of his seams was torn, but otherwise he was fine. They got him home from the rummage sale, and that afternoon they took him home to the country. They got him from the rummage sale, and then they took him home. We understand. The little girl's mother fixed his seam and gave him a bath. She fixed Marcus's foot, too, so it didn't hurt anymore. Marcus and Lionel were so happy to be together again. They spent days and days catching up on all that had happened. It was just like old times. Well, almost. Now Lionel had adventures to tell Marcus about, too. The end. Thanks for reading. Have a good night.